Hey everybody, welcome to Jacob's Quest, and today we got our brand new trailer for Morbius. This is actually the second trailer from the Sony Spider-Man cinematic universe, not the MCU, although those lines are starting to get more and more blurred. And yeah, look, I'm just gonna be straight up with you guys. To me, the Venom movies, the first one at least, was okay. It was nothing special or even great. It was just okay. I still have not seen the second one. I have heard about the after credit scene and everything that implies. But this Morbius movie has always been like sort of a joke, I think. Jared Leto is a strange guy, and this Morbius movie is just kind of a joke. It's basically a meme that's on the internet now. Look, I gotta be honest, I'm coming in here with like a bias against Sony Studios because I do not trust them to put out that much of a quality product. I know that they have had some unique hits, like, Into the Spider-Verse was great. I know that Into the Spider-Verse was amazing, but their track record for the direction that the studio forces itself to attempt to build their own cinematic universe, and like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 thing where they were like forcing in the Sinister Six, and they had all these different spin-offs planned, and all this craziness happened behind the scenes with those leaks, the email hacks and all that. And look, Sony Studios is kind of a mess. Okay, Sony Pictures, right? It's a mess, and I am not very supportive of they basically strong-armed themselves into becoming, semi-canon with the MCU because they hold the rights to Spider-Man, so they're able to do like, oh, we're sort of kind of canon, ooh, I kind of hate that. Now, I know that they've done a lot of multiversing, like, well, you're not really canon with us, but you're gonna kind of be in our multiverse, so whatever. And I don't know how I feel. I was very, very angry when the first Morbius came out and a certain somebody popped up, but we'll talk about that after we watch the trailer. So here we go. For the first time ever, I'm gonna watch this new Morbius trailer. Hey, who knows, right? Maybe somehow this will convince me to come around and say, you know what, I'll give it a chance. But I kind of doubt it. Here we go. A new Marvel Legends arrives. Okay. They do like those mini trailers before the actual trailer. I hate that.
You need a doctor?
I am a doctor.
Okay.
I should have died years ago.
People all over the world have my disease.
I'm here to find a cure. We have to push the boundaries, take the risks.
If you're gonna run,
Do it now.
Doing something with bats and some kind of weird machine in front of him. Alright.
Dr. Michael Morbius, you've been missing for 2 months.
When you're a stranger,
Then you were found on a container ship that washed up off of Long Island.
faces look ugly. When you're alone,
I know in the comics he was sort of like
I wish I knew.
an energy vampire or something. I think that they're just making him a straight up vampire in this one.
I went from dying to being more alive than ever.
It worked.
Not exactly.
I have increased strength and speed and some form of bat radar.
What else can I do?
Bat radar? You mean echolocation? Okay, he can fly, but looks all wavy and weird.
There's something inside of me.
He wants to hunt
And consume blood.
Michael.
when you're a stranger, faces come
And you control it. I don't know.
Half the city wants to kill you.
Daily Bugle newspaper. I'm sure we'll talk about that in a moment.
Good since that thing in San Francisco.
The other half wants to control you.
Spider-Man image back there.
Stay in touch.
And yeah, there he is.
I'd do
There's.
anything to save a life,
We'll talk about all this.
but I don't know what I'm capable of.
You save lives, you don't take them. Are you here to heal the world? Or to destroy it?
Okay, so that is Morbius.
Who the hell are you, Matt?
I am Venom. I'm just kidding. It's Dr. Michael Morbius at your service.
Okay, he made a Venom joke. Okay, that was an enjoyable moment. Okay, he kind of like doing a little bit of self-referential thing there. Comes out in January, which is typically not a good sign for movies. You know, it's usually where they kind of push the nonsense. My first impressions is that this very much feels like a Venom movie. You know, like you could pretty much take out Morbius and just put in Venom. Like it feels very similar to one of the first Venom trailers that we got, to be honest with you. My only thing is that it feels like Venom, but without the humor. Now, obviously, maybe they just didn't put that in the trailer. Maybe there is humor in the movie. Who knows, right? That ending thing was like some humor, so okay. But yeah, it feels like more Venom, which when I say that, I mean it feels like it's gonna be a lot of generic, kind of edgy bro feeling, like, oh, this came out in the early 2000s, kind of cheesiness, right? Because whereas the MCU feels like they're at least attempting to stay modern and change somewhat, even though they themselves do have their own formulas. The Venom movies and this Morbius trailer, by the looks of it, they definitely feel like they're a decade behind. Like this feels like it should have come out not even a decade ago, 15 years ago. Like this feels like it should have come out like in 2005 or 2006 or something, and that's where this movie belongs, because it would have fit in with a lot of the movies coming out around that time. It's almost got like a Batman Begins type thing going on, but more edgy. So I don't know. I will say this, and I think that this is very much what Sony is relying on, and I think that they know that they're doing this, and we know that they're doing this, and some of them know that we know that they know that they're doing this. This movie, this trailer alone, was filled with so many MCU references, but also other different versions of Spider-Man references, where it's like, okay, so what's really happening here as far as the canonicity of it all. So let's actually go through. Let's see what we can find here. So one of the first ones. Let's see. I almost want to say you can see some stuff in the background here. Okay, also it's like he's like, I got bat radar, but it's like it's echolocation, right? Like that seems like what you would say instead of bat radar. So that's kind of funny. Oh, here we go. So here's one of our first ones. So okay, Daily Bugle, the newspaper. Now, there's probably been 10 million YouTube videos about this already, but yes, this is the Daily Bugle newspaper from the Sam Raimi films. But as you can see, Rhino on the loose, zoo hoax fools us all, which seems to be a reference to the Rhino somehow. And then Black Cat, friend or foe. So reference to the Rhino, reference to Black Cat, and then of course the Sam Raimi version of the Daily Bugle, right? And then let's see what else we got here. And then of course You know, that alone was like a Batman Begins moment. But then of course we have this here, which this is the Sam Raimi suit of Spider-Man with murderer tagged over it, which, you know, the whole murderer plot is from the MCU version of Spider-Man. That's what's happening to him currently. The other interesting thing is I remember when this was first seen in the original trailer, this is actually an image from the PlayStation 4 video game where he's wearing the Sam Raimi suit. So this is not actually, you know, this is not actually like a photograph of, you know, anything they would have taken back then. And then of course we have the Vulture from the MCU movies. This is Michael Keaton's Vulture from the MCU, but you have the Daily Bugle as a newspaper from Sam Raimi films, because if you remember, the Daily Bugle in the MCU is not a newspaper and it has a different logo entirely. So already you have these two very, very different, like, what's happening here? You have MCU stuff that is very concretely MCU specific. You have Sam Raimi stuff that is very, you know, like it was a newspaper over there, it had that logo over there. I want to say in one of these shots somewhere around here you were supposed to have seen the Oscorp Tower. Let's see. No, not that one. Let's see if I can find it anywhere. It's one of these shots, one of these cityscape shots. You're supposed to be able to have seen Oscorp. I know it's in here somewhere. In fact, this is that almost looked like it was Venom or something, but no, I guess it was him. Okay. And then of course he makes a Venom joke. He like openly makes a self-referential like, "Oh, we are Venom" thing, which that means not only does he know who Venom is, but he's so familiar with Venom that like he's able to make that joke that only like a couple of muggers in that 7-Eleven would have ever, you know, heard him say that, right? So that's kind of confusing. Like, how does he know that? Is that like that, you know, like that has to be that common public, you know, nomenclature that it's like, yeah, the "we are Venom" thing, like everyone knows that in our world, I guess. Right? Is Venom that public of a figure? I guess I have to watch Venom 2. Maybe he is, who knows. Yeah, I can't find the Oscorp Tower, but I know it is supposed to be in this trailer somewhere. Anyways, not important. The point is, you have Venom, very self-referential Venom joke. You have Sam Raimi's, an image of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man and Sam Raimi's version of the Daily Bugle, which within that references Black Cat and Rhino. And then you have MCU's Vulture. Like, it's deliberately that Vulture, you know? So, what is this? What the hell is happening here? I don't know, guys. I don't know. Here's my thing. Here's what I'm beginning to suspect. Okay, just based off of the level of confusion that we have, we know that Spider-Man No Way Home, look, Tobey Maguire and Andrew Garfield are showing up in that movie. There's no way around that, I think. So that's happening. I know that they still have not publicly said that, but it is happening. It's happening. So that movie's coming out in December, and I have to imagine that by the end of that movie, what we're looking at is sort of a Crisis on Infinite Earths type event where they're going to take, you know, what Sony Pictures imagines is the best parts of all three of those versions of Spider-Man and put them inside one world. And I think we're going to be left with only one Spider-Man, maybe Tom Holland's Spider-Man, or maybe one of the other ones. And they're going to be in the same world as Venom and Morbius and that Doc Ock and Green Goblin. They're all going to be in the exact same continuity and world now. And they're basically going to merge all three of them together. I think that's where this is going, because that's the only way that this Morbius movie, which would come out literally the next month in January, makes any sense. The other thing, though, the other option to all this is that Sony Pictures is so inept and so careless with their continuity that they are essentially pulling a Fox X-Men type thing with their franchises where they literally do not give a damn about continuity, about timelines, about how any of it fits together. They are literally just throwing stuff at the wall saying, I don't care, it doesn't matter, just put it on the screen. I think that's more likely the option here. I think that Spider-Man No Way Home, because it is, you know, those are very much, Kevin Feige is very involved in those movies. I think that movie's going to end where Tom Holland is still the MCU Spider-Man, and some of the Sony characters like Venom have crossed over to this world, as is said to have happened at the end credits of Venom 2. But Sony is not going to care, and they're going to be like, whatever, Morbius and Venom and the Sam Raimi Daily Bugle and the MCU Vulture, whatever, it's all in the same world now. I honestly believe that's what's happening. I think Sony just does not give a damn. I think that none of this is going to end up making any sense at all. And Sony's going to be like, well, it's the multiverse. And then Kevin Feige's going to be like, yeah, but that's not how we explained the multiverse working. And Sony's going to be like, yeah, but whatever. Money, you know? I think that's what's going to end up happening. I think Sony does not care about the story or the continuity or how any of this is supposed to work. And Kevin Feige, who knows that one of the reasons this does work is because he cares about the continuity, he's gonna just be, you know, he's gonna have to throw his arms in the air, go like, I can't stop them. They own the right, they own the film rights to these characters. I literally cannot stop them from doing this. There's nothing Kevin Feige can do about it. And it sucks, and it's horrible, and I really, really hate that we're here in this place. I hope this Morbius movie... Look, I'll tell you what. If Spider-Man No Way Home, if it ends in a way that this trailer, watching this Morbius trailer, can somehow make any logical sense, then fine. I'll give it a shot. I'll be like, whatever. It looks just like Venom, kind of like whatever, okay, I guess, maybe. Kind of generic. But I'll give it a shot. But if No Way Home ends in a place that this trailer makes no sense at all, then I will not see Morbius. I will not see it. I still haven't watched Venom 2. I had planned on it, but I just never got around to it, and by the time I thought about it again, didn't care. And this one I'm going to intentionally not watch if No Way Home ends in a place that this doesn't make sense. Because I believe that Sony Pictures they are marketing their movies from a place of brand confusion. They are attempting to say, we are part of the MCU, and we are going to have Spider-Man and Venom type things, and we don't really care how any of it makes sense or why any of it's here. We're just going to throw it all together, and the general audiences, they're not going to know why or how or what. But of course, you know, us nerds who like deep dive way too far into things, we're gonna be like, yeah, you're just doing the Fox X-Men thing where you literally don't care. You know, so if you can't tell, I'm frustrated that I'm frustrated at the situation. I'm frustrated that Sony Pictures is involved in this equation at all, and they've made at least some messy part of the MCU. You know, like there's this messy, vague part where it's like, well, that Vulture is now in this movie, and at the end of Venom 2, Venom went and he saw that Spider-Man, but there's still this other Daily Bugle, and none of it makes any damn sense because Sony is Sony. Anyways, so that's Morbius trailer. Let me know what you guys think. Let me know if you're concerned at all about Sony Pictures muddying up and confusing general audiences and just making none of this make any sense at all because they don't care. Or do you think there's actually a plan and Kevin Feige has somehow managed to convince Sony to stop what they're doing, wait until it all makes sense, Or is Sony Pictures ignoring Kevin Feige, gonna throw more sandwiches at him? Which, by the way, that sandwich story where what's her name threw a sandwich at Kevin Feige turned out to be true. Like there was like an interview and she admitted it. She's like, yeah, I might have thrown a sandwich at him. Like, what? That was a real thing that happened. That's not. Anyways, yeah, look that up. Anyways, let me know what you guys think. I'll see you guys later. I'm aggravated. I'll see you guys later. Bye.